to market has become an increasingly key factor in the success of brands and retailers. I'm here speaking with Tim Chu of CBX Software, and he's been telling me about a new program that they have that helps retailers and brands tighten up their supply chain and gain greater visibility. Tim, would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, speed to market is an important topic for all retailers and brands in this type of economy today. One of the things that we do is we provide an end-to-end lifecycle tool to bring new product to market radically faster. And we do that by putting in a software, a web-based software that really acts as a control tower to collaborate with all the different stakeholders.
It's all about speed, scale, and simplicity. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do is improve profitabilities for companies by helping them go faster from concept of a new product all the way through delivery. So this is a long life cycle that we're accelerating. We see for many brands and retailers still this life cycle is still long. It may be 4 months, 6 months, 7 months or more, okay? But it's still very long, and it costs a lot to finance this chain. And what we're trying to do is simplify it and make it go faster by removing the spreadsheets involved with the process. So we see that you see a lot of these boxes, and in between each box, there's a lot of space between these boxes. We feel like we can compress these boxes together. We feel like we can also cut the beginning and the end off so we can go faster. You still have to do it. The problem is there's a lot of teams, a lot of styles. We're trying to shrink it down. Most companies have some type of order system, warehousing system, finance system. They do have that already, but in the front of the order, they lack standardization, process improvement. They lack it. So when it comes to development, thinking of what new styles to work on, the assortment review and selection process, this is very, very manual for companies. The development, the specification work, still very manual, non-standardized. Quality is definitely also in a different. They need to be involved, but they are using a different process, okay? And defining the product requirements, the sampling, the testing, the production quality side of things. And then there's sourcing, okay? There's tendering, there's looking for new suppliers, there's tendering and costing, there's confirmation of an order, and follow-up activities. Okay, so again, we're just trying to improve the collaboration. We see a lot of spreadsheets in the process if they don't have a system, but even if they have a system, there's still a lot of spreadsheets. So we're all about standardizing these sheets and automating them. And one of the main things that people see right off the bat is something called the critical path. And critical path is the calendar that has been accelerated. It's basically connecting all the different teams involved and planning out the predicted dates that they need to work towards. Okay, and it gives the actual dates and provides everyone with a view into where the problem might be. Meaning, are you stuck at specification? Are you stuck at ordering, sampling, inspection, delivery? Where are you in the process? Where are you stuck? Okay, and it's basically giving everyone a red light and a green light visibility, because we are automating all of these different processes that are involved. This is the home page. One of the things that users come into our system, it's actually trying to tell you what to do. This is like a wall of messages, but it's listening to a bunch of scenarios. Okay, so my system is always listening to where is a problem. Are you stuck? Have you received something? You need to act on something. So it's actually notifying you in the wall, and it's giving you custom messages to a person, okay, in this wall. Okay, and you can drill down to any of these things. Okay.
So when you look at this wall, you're only seeing messages that are for you, or are you seeing an overview of messages
only for
everybody on the team? Okay, so if you haven't been CC'd in it or directly addressed in it, it doesn't show up on here.
My system knows the organization chart of everyone that's involved with the process, okay? And it will know to send to certain people, all right? We also have, on the bottom right-hand corner, critical path. And it's basically saying, you have some things you need to do. you have some things that you're late on. And you can always drill down to find out what are the styles or the orders or the quality activities that you need to work on. Okay, you could drill down to any of those at the bottom down here, like upcoming. So I can drill down and see what I need to do. Right? These are things I need to act on soon. Okay, otherwise there'll be a cost associated. So I can actually go to, and I have this other screen. I can see my collection. This is my collection of styles that I'm working on. And I can see in a kind of a green light, red light sense, where am I in the process? And you'll see there's a calendar of dates called the plan date and then the actual date. So my system is planning based on a whole calendar, a seasonal calendar or a promotional calendar. And it will plan out all the dates and estimate when you need to do each activity. And then there's the actual date of actually being done. And it's telling you, I am now at the fit process, or I'm at the lab dit process. I'm somewhere here. So it's each style I get to see where I'm at. And this calendar is very smart because you can define how fast you want to go through this process. So
how do you define that?
There's a whole setup process that calculates all of these dates. When you're developing styles, you'll know that this is for a certain season. So it says fall, winter 18. We'll have a calendar. It'll know the date that we need to have it in store or in DC. Okay, it'll automatically calculate these dates here. It's automatic. And then the actuals, because our system has a lot of things in there, it will automatically put the actual date for you, so you can see it kind of like a full view. Companies are using spreadsheets to manage this calendar today, and we are automating that sheet and making sure everybody's aligned to it. So you have to imagine, both in the headquarters, there's a lot of stakeholders here. You have buying, design, you have sourcing, you have quality. They're all in this process here. Procurement is in here. So there's a lot of stakeholders here, and you can add more departments or have a very few of them, but it depends on how many people do you want to involve with the process.
So every style is entered into this system when it comes on, and then it works its way through the calendar. When a company is looking at implementing a system like this, because most companies have some kind of a legacy system, what's involved in that?
So we basically, look at what kind of industry they're in, what kind of product they're doing, and we look at their spreadsheets actually, and we can convert a lot of these over and help them standardize it. It's really a standardization exercise, because if you look at this, you'll see different flows. This one and this one is not the same if you notice it. Our system knows what category the product, how complicated it is. Like so some of these over here are shorter. There are fewer steps. Okay, it could be literally a reorder of a product and there's fewer steps. But it's a brand new product and it may have more steps. Or it's a product that I'm working with Bangladesh on and may have more steps. I'm working with a proper, one of my partnering manufacturers, then there'll be fewer steps. I mean, if it's in a different product category or an accessory item, it would have different steps.
For a company that's now looking to make that conversion, for a lot of people, it's really just a matter of how much downtime or how much, change management they need to commit to, what it would take for them to go from zero to hero on this.
To do end-to-end, actually, it takes for a reasonable, let's say a medium-sized brand, it'll take a year. Okay. But people don't digest it all in one chunk.
Okay.
They will actually do these in chunks of 4 to 5 months. This is a pre-order chunk or a development chunk. Then we have another chunk. Let's say this is order chunk. Here is a bunch of orders here. There are styles in the order, and then it goes through different production, inspection, and the logistics processes here. So this is a different chunk. And then this is like 3 months to do this side.
Okay.
So we could decide this, we'd want to do production and supply chain, or do we want to do design and buying, as an example. We could chunk it up. So At the end of the day, it'll take us 10 to 12 months to do everything.
So in other words, a company would have all the styles on there, but they would start with one chunk that might be sourcing. But they would start with all their styles as opposed to starting with a few styles in multiple categories.
They don't have they could style, they could do by category or do all. It's up to them. Usually it depends on, let's say if it's usually like a brand, they'll say, oh, let's do women's textile first, and then we'll add accessories later, or etc. But usually the intention is to do it for all. No one wants to buy two systems for different categories.
Yeah, of course.
So they want to buy one and then ultimately get it all in one. I've already automated all the Excel, so I can go straight into there and go. This is the style. I have already got all of the details. Kind of imagine an Excel sheet on steroids. It's a lot more sophisticated because they're not really typing all this information in. A lot of it is pre-filled.
Okay.
So because we're always, if it's always a coat, we're gonna fill in the coat details into here automatically. So that
alone is a time-saving factor.
So here you already see this is a style. It's got different tabs of information. And I'm not going to go through each one of these here, but you can always see where are you in the process. You may have 4 or 5 major departments working together to bring this coat to market, right? And each person has, it's all done in kind of parallel in a way, right? It's done in a very short amount of time.
Okay.
And that's the only way to get the speed there.
So tell me a little bit more about this module that picks up on things that can be compliance problems.
So compliance problems. So first of all, my system, when you create the style, it knows what kind of category it's in. If it's a baby t-shirt or a baby accessory, it already is filed away into different risk levels. Okay, so we have branding. A brand can be a different risk. You have high end and then low end, or basic, medium, and high. Then you have classification. I just showed you that. All right, that's already telling me the starting point of risk. Okay, then I have market. Where is it being sent to? Where is this product being delivered to? Is it France, Germany, or US? And if it's Australia, is it different level of risk? Okay. Then after that, my system can figure out this critical path. My critical path can have more steps because of risk or less. The other thing my system does is, maybe there's, for example, at the very beginning, this product is a special coat. We want to make sure that we are REACH certified, whatever standard. Now, I would drop in here that standard in here. It would fill it in here.
Oh, okay.
And it would know at the very beginning stage, this product needs to have this type of chemical level or these non-substances. It would actually know what it is.
And that would go into the description area.
It would drop in here all of the requirements for this product. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This is not a good example here because it says stitching here.
Okay.
But it would drop in whatever's necessary that for this product, this style, it's rated at the women's wear, soft goods. It's going to a certain market. It has a certain brand. We would have certain requirements in here. We need to go through a checklist of the activities to make sure that it's compliant.
Who would would they be checking them off on the screen, or how would that work?
So what happens is, so we're defining the requirements of the product, the specification, the design of the product right now, the style. Then we go through a sampling request process that we need to tell the supplier, this is what we want. Okay, and what we do is we end up sharing the specification and the requirement to the supplier. Okay, and then it's basically tracked. So we initialize a tracking process, and we're telling the supplier we want these kind of samples, and please provide back the color, the style, okay, the quantity, and send it to this office. Okay, and it's basically, it says it's being sent here. I want size M and these colors. Okay, send it to me on this time and date. Okay, and I can track the details of it. So for this product, this kind of sample, which is we're saying as a pre-production sample, it has to go through this checklist. Okay, and this is a checklist process. Some of this is done by the brand, sometimes it's done by the quality, depending on what kind of evaluation we're talking about. You have to get a pass on each one before you start production.
And then who would fill in whether it was passed or not? Who would be taking responsibility for that?
It depends on how the brand works. A lot of brands do it themselves. Some of them they jointly do it with a quality partner.
Okay, who would also be able to log into the system?
So the brand's quality team or the service provider that they're working with is doing it jointly. People are doing it very separately in emails and PDF files today. It's all done manually. Each person does it. Now I've got it all scheduled, choreographed here, right? And I can see the status at any time of the pass and fail.
So in other words, somebody at the testing lab would be able to log into this system directly into the records for that particular product and then enter the evaluation on that.
Ultimately possible. There's very few people are doing that today.
So customers want to be able to do that.
Absolutely. It's because it's a mess. Quality is almost like a separate team and process for most brands. They're not involved. They're separately done, and they don't talk very well with the design and sourcing team. But buying, design, sourcing, and quality is they all have to do it together. They have to work together as a team, but each person is doing it separately. Separate spreadsheets, separate process. They don't sit together. So we're trying to get them to work together in a control tower manner.
And just an estimate, but how much time or possibly cost? I guess that's even harder to measure. But how much lead time do you think could be saved by working this way?
Definitely, pre-production processes are the biggest opportunity. Okay, once you place order, production starts and you deliver. Everybody's about the same. The container can't go faster to ship, and in the production, 3 to 5 weeks is already like the fastest. You can't go any faster, all right? But people are this activity of pre-production is where the opportunity is, and they can save a lot. Now, if you look at most retailers, non-fast fashion companies, they're so slow. From concept to delivery, 10 to 12 months is common. Maybe even more for the discount retailers, 18 months from concept to delivery. So these boxes here, right? And then this is where the acceleration is. And this is where we can save, 20, 30, 40% end to end. These boxes
when
here. When
you say 20 to 30,
so let's say
40%,
this is
are you talking about in terms of time or money or both?
Both.
Okay.
Okay. Time compression and then reducing the effort is around the same.
Okay.
Reducing the effort, time compression is the ultimate opportunity, because you don't have to finance this. This is very expensive. This is a lot of people.
Where you feel there's an awful lot of room to cut costs is really in better managing the pre-production.
We are doing time compression, which is speed. We're trying to simplify the process. We are trying to scale it. They want to do more styles, more orders, smaller orders, more shipments with fewer people. Now, when you do more styles, more orders, generally it means without a system, more effort. But we can basically reduce the effort by provide control and visibility. Okay, control and visibility is still important because many companies do not deliver on time still. There's a lot of things go wrong in production and quality with your supplier. A lot of things go wrong. So we have a system to provide visibility for everybody so they can predict whether they're going to be on time or not. That's important for sales. They get the full sales rate, right? Now, the pre-production area, because it's slow, poorly planned, a lot of teams involved, we are also improving that. So we put in a control tower in the middle of that, improve the collaboration. So that's speed. We largely get the majority of speed gain in the front. Quality has, their voice is getting louder. Legislation is louder. They need a system. You have quality problems also. One, but most people are using spreadsheets here. They have no system for quality.
For as complex a business as the apparel industry supply chain, this makes it pretty much as simple as and user intuitive as I think you could get.
Yeah, we like to think so.
So Tim, if people want to learn more about CBX software, about any of the things that you've shown us, how can they learn more? How can they get in touch with you?
Well, you can actually check out our website. Probably that's the best resource of information. We have an educational section on our website which share how Critical Path and tools like ours can help them accelerate their processes.
Okay.
So you can check out our website by going to cbxsoftware.com.
Tim, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jake. Thanks for having me.